No, sorry. Sorry it took me so long. I was playing tennis. I'll have to explain that again, probably in a minute. But yeah, we're here. We're here now. What's up, Christian Boral? How we doing? Thank you for being here. I know it's late. I just got home from playing tennis, so sorry for the lateness. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it. How we doing? Oi. Nah, this way. What's up, Emily? How we doing? You can say I sound New York again. That's fine. But yeah, what's up? I know. I'm late. You're early. Guess that's just how this works apparently now. Kirsch, you're doing good. How am I? I'm doing fine. Just got home from playing tennis, so if I'm talking quieter than normal, it's because the other people that live here, they are trying to sleep, and I'm going to respect that. So yeah, but I'm doing fine. I'm glad I got to play tennis. That's about it. Now we're here having a grand old time. Phoenix, you have two more fake tattoos now. That's crazy. Did you start? Were those ones as hard to do as the first one, to where we were sitting down for more than 20 minutes trying to do it? Yeah, I did. Okay. Cool. Hmm. So they're super cool though. Okay, very nice. All right, we got more and more people starting to roll in. What's up? What's up, everyone? How are we doing? Thank you for being here. I know it is quite late compared to when I normally stream, or if this is your first time here, hello, nice to meet you. But yeah, I just got home from playing tennis for 2 hours with a giant group of my friends, and so I was like, all right, we're here. We're gonna go live. We're gonna keep the commitment that I made to myself. We're gonna keep it rolling. Let's see. Emery, I don't know what you're talking about. Ellie, hello. How are we doing? What's going on? That was slow. Hi, Amy. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing, How are you doing, Amy? Thank you for being here. Thomp. Yes, I can see that. I can see your comment. Ramon, no, it is not. It is not Section 8. Put, well, you just arrived. What is the commitments? Oh, so the commitment I made, that was to myself, is that I will be going live here on YouTube for at least half an hour every day for the rest of the year of 2025. That was the commitment I made to myself, so that way I could work on following through on things and just show and prove to myself that I can actually commit to something and stick with it. So that is the commitment. That's what we're doing here. Jerry, sad, interesting. Phoenix is part cyber sigillism and smoking type design. Interesting. Christian, you were listening to the Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack before you got the live notification. Nice. What song Did I so sadly interrupt for you? Survivor, what's up? How we doing? Ali, what's up? How we doing? Yes, I am quite pale. My skin, just like my very greatly reflects my race of white. So yeah, man, that's about it. Ellie, nothing's going on except your life. That's fair. That's fair, Ellie. I get that. I feel that. Angel, hello. How are we? Top, you like my hair? Thank you. It's hiding right now because it was a mess after playing tennis for 2 hours, but I appreciate the compliment. Johnny, no, we're not playing Minecraft. Justin, bro lives in a school. That would be pretty cool. If I got to live in a school, like I've seen some of the things where people will um will buy an old school that's closed down and then they will start to renovate it and change up and live in it. I've always thought that was pretty cool. Phoenix 51 views. I know. I think that's a live record, Phoenix. I saw that. I was like I was really cool. I thought that was really cool. Frank, hi, what's the chat about new here? Well, Frank, the thing that we typically do here is that my area of expertise does tend to land on tennis gear and tennis equipment. So, usually with tennis rackets, strings, shoes, or anything like that, I'm here to help out and answer as many tennis gear related questions as I can. And usually, though, at some point, the tennis talk always does just kind of like, it just kind of subsides and we all just kind of like hang out, have fun, and do whatever. That's about it. Ramon, bro, pawn your equipment, close the channel, go back to Wendy's and apologize. What would I go back to Wendy's for? I've never worked at a Wendy's, bro. It sounds like you know someone that works at a Wendy's. You talking to them? Fulio, what is this? Let's see. Where did it go? Fulio. What false cause are you talking about? SJ, nice ceiling stains. Yeah, dude, they're old. It's crazy. Dude, what's up? How are we doing? Aya, where have you been? I've been playing tennis, Aya. Tuesday nights is the one of the few nights of the week that I get to play tennis with my friends. So we were playing from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is what I've been doing. I know. I'm quite late from the normal time, but we're here now. We're keeping the commitment. Big we're all just kind of like hanging out, talking about whatever right now. But typically it's about tennis and tennis gear related topics. That's usually my area of expertise. And so we'll talk about whatever, but usually right in the beginning and then towards the end of the stream, we all just kind of like hang out, talk about whatever just because the tennis talk seems to subside. So yeah, that's about it. Silver, given football scores interesting. Fulio, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't have cancer. I've never said I did. That's crazy that you would accuse me of that. Gary, what would I do? What would I do with a $540,000 inheritance? I would probably try to figure out a way to keep most of it because I would not want to spend or waste all of it. And granted, everything I say is not financial advice because this is my own personal thing and I'm not a financial advisor or anything. But I would probably keep or like put some in savings, maybe invest in something, I don't know. And then I don't know. Maybe keep a little bit for myself in order to actually like spend, but I'm not sure, man. Monson, no, I do not need an ambulance. Desroy, I don't know who that is. a subscriber from Saudi Arabia. Well, thank you for being here all the way from Saudi Arabia. That's awesome. Your name is Wijdan. Wijdan? I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Let's see. Kelly, he's in a basement, not a school. Interesting. Poi, no, I never faked cancer. Christian, you were listening to Get It. Nice. That's your favorite song. Which album were you listening to? Because there's 3. So it's like, were you listening to the most recent one with Christian Borle in it? Were you listening to the one before that, which I think it was in like, I don't know when that one came out, the 90s or something, 90s like that or something like that. And then there's the one before that was like the original one. Let's see. Believe, what's up? How we doing? Justin, dang, bro. No. I never faked anything about cancer. If you believe that, you're believing an absolute falsehood. Lord, no, I will not play Clash Royale. I have not played that in many, many years. Violet, do my glasses block the blue light? Yes, Violet. Yes, they do. That is the exact reason they are tinted orange/red. And yeah, that is what they do. I know why I'm wearing them now. Letitia, bro, you look like Bang Chan from Star Kids. I've gotten so many people that say I look like I'm from Star Kids, but I've never actually seen or listened to Star Kids. Let's see, Bobby, am I a certified tennis coach through USTA? No, I'm not a certified tennis coach. I am a certified tennis equipment, MRT or Master Racket Technician through the USRSA. That is where my certification is. I am not a licensed or certified tennis coach. I just know and got certified in tennis equipment like rackets and strings for the USRSA certification. And then I've also worked in a tennis retail store for the past about 8+ years, and that's where my knowledge of shoes and the other equipment kind of like came in and worked together. Okay. Wijan, hello again. What's up, Bobby? How we doing? Egan, I'm sorry, I don't know what language you're speaking, so I don't know what you're trying to say. Remember, take your meds and go to sleep. I'm rambling. But yeah, you're still here, dude, so. Why, if you think I'm rambling, why haven't you left yet? Driving Force, what's up? How we doing? Boy, I did. I never said I had cancer. I don't know why you would believe a random comment, but no, I never said that. CMTR, Justin Timberlake, interesting. Okay. Spanton, tennis, sporty stuff. I must be tired. Nah, we're good. What's up, Bobby? Spam, how long have I played tennis? I played tennis for about 10+ years, right around that. I think. Binge, you're giving an opinion about soccer. As you can tell, just from me saying that, I'm from the U.S. Yeah, I said soccer, but I don't watch it, so I have no idea if that is true or not true. Thanks, Phoenix. I appreciate it. 1 a.m. No, you cannot be a moderator, even if you gift. Albert, I don't know what that means. Spam, show us a tennis racket. I would have to grab one, but I'll grab the one I played with tonight. This is what I was playing with tonight. And I just put new fresh strings in here, so it was a great time figuring out how they play and getting used to it. I had very much fun. Boy, you didn't find anything because it wasn't true. Hannah say kitty and you'll subscribe. Interesting. Don't know why that would be the requirement, but interesting. Monsoon Diesel. Bobby, hello again. Binge, how can you grow your channel if you're lazy not to even read all the comments? I'm getting to them. They just keep coming. I'm this far back into the comment section, Binge. Ryan, of course you can subscribe and like. I would appreciate it. Christian, you were listening to the one with Christian Borle, but you love the 2003 album. Nice. Very nice. See, I like Christian Borle as the dentist more than the 2003 album, but I like I would say I like more of the songs from the 2003 album better than the new album that has Christian Borle in it. Albert, I don't know what that means. Truth, I am decaying in here. Interesting. Cotton, what's up, buddy? Ryan, I already answered that question. Wet cardboard. We'll see. Ian, cannot be serious about what? Con, what's up, bro? A bit late for night. Yeah, I know. I was playing tennis though. I was playing tennis with this, seeing how it did, and finally getting a idea of how Toraline plays. So I was having fun, but we're still here. We're still getting it in. Bobbert, I look like I live on planet Earth. Why, yes, I do. Boy, have I ever played professionally? No, I have not. I've not played professionally. I have just been playing. I've just been playing for fun. I played in high school, and then now I just play with my friends. I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is. Hello, you're from Saudi Arabia, and you're new here. Hello. Well, hello. Thank you for being here from Saudi Arabia. I appreciate it. Violet, you've never seen the orange lenses. Jeez, they look cool. Yeah, I think they're awesome. Oh, Ian, you're quoting John McEnroe. You cannot be serious. I'm not trying to yell or anything because other people that live here are trying to sleep, so I'm trying to be considerate. Ben, hello from Nepal. Well, thank you for being here all the way from Nepal. I appreciate it. Violet, I agree. Ian, I didn't see the comment that you said you were quoting something, but I did get it before I saw that you said John McEnroe. I did get that. As soon as you said you were quoting someone from tennis, that was the instant click. I was like, oh, you're talking about John McEnroe. Let's see. Conal Lunette's the best. I don't know who that is. Man's 369. No. Ian, wow. Yeah. The Giant Monk. Hey, I remember you. Hello. What's up? Jonathan, how are we doing? Boy, yes, I am safe. The roof is just old. That's it. Treasure, go to Brazil. Probably not. Jonathan, day 10, you're keeping track. That's crazy, Jonathan. Treasure, Fonseca's the GOAT. Interesting. Colin, what kind of hybrid is that? Is in the Percept? So this is Toraline's K-pop hybrid. So it has two of their polyester strings in here. I don't remember which ones. But it looks like Tourmaline Wasabi is in the mains cotton, and then in the crosses, can I find? It is Tourmaline Caviar. So this was one of the few packs of Tourmaline that I was able to actually get a hold of, that I found. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. And that's what I got in here. Boy, you're sorry you jumped to a conclusion. Well, thanks, boy. I appreciate the apology. Kaiser, hello, good morning, bro. What's up, bro? How we doing? Safe, bruh. Get up, get a job. I got a job. This is what I do outside of my job. I do both. Blueberry, what's up? Do I want a gift? Probably depends on the gift, buddy, but as long as it's appropriate, sure. Binge, sorry, my bad. Nah, it's fine. It's fine, man. Let's see. Nikita, good morning from Russia. Oh, that's cool. All the way on Russia. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. What time is it in Russia? Your hat's so nice, and the colors of the racket are amazing. Well, thanks, Aya. I think that they look fine. They look good. I really want the purple version of this racket, though. That one looks so much better to me. It really does. Christian, you think that the actors for the newest album fit the characters better personally? You like how Dennis in 2003 one sings? See, I couldn't vibe with him. Like, now it's probably because I heard the newest album first. Like, I heard that first, so that was kind of like my baseline. So Christian Borle was my baseline for The Dentist. And then when I heard the old one, I was just kind of like, I don't like this as much because it was slower. He was a little bit more like methodical almost, whereas Christian kind of went more towards the comedy route, which I thought worked better, especially as he was inhaling more of the gas. But I don't know. I personally like the Urchins way more in the 2003 version than I do in the current version. Boral, that's probably my hot take, but I think that some of the songs, some of the songs in there in the 2003 version, so much better than the current one because they didn't cut anything, and those girls can sing. That is, they good. Phoenix, you're gonna head out, take a shower, go to bed. Have a good night. Have a good night, Phoenix. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Barry, nice glasses. Thank you. I appreciate it. Cotton, first impressions / quick review for the K-pop. First impressions, it felt good. Like, I string my racket personally a lot tighter than most people probably should. Like, I strung both of these strings at 56 pounds. So typically not a very good thing to do for most people just because that's usually very hard on the arm, but I've been very fortunate enough to get away with it, and I found that I tend to prefer higher tension. That's just me. But with this, overall, everything seemed fine. Like, control is actually pretty good. I hadn't really found a polyester hybrid that I thought worked well before in this racket. I've tried a few, but there was nothing like really like stood out to me. But this one did very nicely. It had good spin, it had good control. Power wise, that's not really what these are going for just because it's polyester, and with my racket being more underpowered, it's not going to help with that. But with the job it was doing, especially being in a more dense string pattern, I felt I could get decent spin. Now, granted, I don't use as much spin in my game as others, so that's not the biggest concern for me. Hitting flat was fine. Like, it did everything I needed it to. Getting more power, that's on me as the player, just because I need to have more proper mechanics, and I'm using a racket that's designed for control. But it did fine for me. But that was just the first 2 hours, so it's still breaking in. I have to see how it does after that, Cotton. But so far, so good. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. Did pretty well overall. And if I was getting mad at tennis, I was getting mad at myself because I was doing stupid things. And I'm not blaming that on the string. I did many stupid things. And that was my bad. Jonathan, it's time for camera rotation. No, it's not, Jonathan. Point, they be naming these things like caviar, Masai, Jack of the Prize. Uh, surprising. You would think that, but surprisingly, these are like, I don't know. I think the pack of this was like $13, but but mo and that's like average price. And so yeah, there's some strings that are above 20. But I was like, yeah. This one not too bad for the price so far. We'll see. Let's see. Noop, it's 11 in the morning for me and you're watching the live game. Well, thanks, Noop. I appreciate it. Welcome back, buddy. Phil, is that one of those things you swat bugs with? I have swatted many sweat bees with these. So, I have swatted many bugs with this. Not necessarily this racket, but just tennis rackets in general. BB, I don't know what that is. Christina, what's up? How are we doing? Bod, what's up? How are we doing? Aya, the purple version is just purple or like this, a lot of nice colors together. So Aya, for the purple version, everywhere you see green, think it's a dark purple. And then this color right here that has the name and the logo of the brand is about the same, just darker. And so to me, it looks so much better. And then the strings, that's all like personal preference. Like that doesn't come with the racket. These are just the strings that I put in earlier today. But the cool thing about these is because they're two different colors, now the main color is pink, now the main color is yellow. So there's that little like visual effect with it. So that's fun. I have yeah. Bodzia. Ooh, Percept. Yeah, Percept. I like the Percept. Posse, you will defeat me in a tennis duel. One set. Interesting. Why just one set, sir? Why not a full match? Bodzia, what is my opinion on the Percept 100, 300 gram? I think the Percept can do well. Does well in almost all its variations. The 100, I think it's to me it is a better version of the Babolat Pure Strike 100. It's a little bit easier on the arm. That's what I felt. It played well, the 16 by 19 and the 100 head size. It's not anything like extremely harsh or hard to use. I just think it's fun. It's an easy racket to get into if you want a control racket that is going to be a slightly more forgiving. So I've had a good experience with the Percept 100, 300 gram. It's also worked well for a lot of people I know, so I'm a fan. They're just hard to get. David, what's up? What's up, bro? How we doing? David, I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of that means. Nope, do I consider myself a pro at tennis? No, not at all. Like if you try to get me to win a single point on a professional, that probably ain't happening. The only way that's happening is if they somehow make a mistake. I am in no way a playing professional. Now, when we talk about the equipment side, that's where I'll make my case. It's like, hey, I can know what I'm talking about here. I'm getting towards that professional level there, if not very close. So equipment wise, more so yes. Playing wise, absolutely not. Let's see. Boy, have I ever worked with or for any famous tennis players? Yes, I have worked with a few. So I've helped. Well, I won't necessarily say helped, but I have worked with Boss, not Boss. Yeah, no, I didn't work with Boslashvili, but I worked with Matthew Ebden, and I worked with Adrian Manarino. I also did some work with Francis Tiafo, and so and because of that, I also got this photo of him that he signed for me. But I got those, and with Matthew Ebden and Adrian Manarino, I was helping them make sure that their rackets were spec'd to where they wanted them for the tournament they were about to play. And because where I was working, we had a machine, we had an RDC machine to go over like swing weight, balance point, and everything. So I was helping them with that and then with Francis. I actually interviewed Francis Tiafo, so that was really cool. I was kind of thrown into that interview like 30 minutes before he showed up, but I did end up interviewing him, and I was like, oh, all right, that happened. That was pretty cool. Yeah, those are essentially like the big things. Oh, and then a few years ago, I helped, or at least I think I helped him. I might not have. It might have been one of the other people I was working with, but I believe I helped Andrei Rublev when he came into my store. This was before he switched to head rackets, so I think I helped him like figure out which head gravity he wanted to use because at the time he wasn't allowed to show he was using a gravity, so he just bought I think a few of the rackets and then blacked them out and then still put the Wilson Stenso logo on them. But yeah, those were my instances of working with the pros. Constantly love you, bro. Thanks. I appreciate it. You see Yonex ProStep 97H versus ProStep 97 V14. Pros and cons of each. Okay. So ProStep 97H versus ProStep 97 V14. Very first thing, they're both 97, so both control rackets. Very easy. You probably already knew that. Big thing is that ProStep 97 arguably is going to be easier to move around and it's going to be more maneuverable for you. So if you prefer to be able to swing the racket a little bit easier, I would say Pro Staff is probably going to be your option just because it is not as heavy. Now the 97H, because it is heavier, it is going to be more stable when you actually hit the ball because it has more mass to it, as well as you arguably are going to get a little bit more power from that racket because of the extra weight. That is going to be where you have to decide whether or not your arm is going to be able to handle the weight of the racket itself. If you don't think you can swing the Percept 97H for a full match, then I probably wouldn't do it. The Pro Staff technically is going to be the better option because it's not as heavy as the Percept 97H. Now, if you want to do the Yonex Percept 97 versus the ProStaff 97 V14, that's where you have the exact same weight in the racket, you have the exact same head size. The beam is very, very similar and so they're going to play very similarly. Again, with Yonex frames because of the isometric head shape, so the why it looks like squared off. The sweet spot is a little bit larger, and so I personally feel that the perceps are a little bit larger sweet spots, so they're a little bit more player friendly, as well as they're a little bit easier on the arm than the normal Pro Staff V14. So that is why I personally would lean towards Percept. I personally wouldn't use the 97H just because that's most likely way too heavy for me. But if I had to pick between, say, normal Percept 97 and Pro Staff, I personally would probably go Percept 97 just because I've had a much better time and a much easier time using those than I have the Pro Staff 97 V14. So you see, that is my answer. I hope that helped out. If not, please comment again and I will attempt to answer your question more fully. Kakoa, thank you for the gems. I appreciate it. Ponzi, not enough endurance to win a full match. We don't know, man. We won't know till we try. Let's see. Crumble, hello. Safe, take off the cap. Why? You want to see how bad my hair looks after playing tennis for 2 hours? While wearing the hat? It's rough, man. That's why the hat stays on. Sharia, what's up, bro? How we doing? Jack, what got me into tennis? So what got me into tennis is the fact that I had played baseball for many, many years. I had played basketball for many, many years when I was younger, but I didn't want to do those anymore. And so I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I just wanted to stay in my room and play video games all the time, especially during the summer. I hated going outside. I hated the heat, and I just thought the outside was stupid because there were bugs out there. I still kind of think that too, because there's bugs out there. I don't want to deal with them. But my mom was like, hey, you are not going to sit in this house doing nothing and playing video games all summer and forever. I was like, but why? She's like, no, you're going to do something. So, luckily, a little bit ago, before that, I was on a family vacation with my family, my immediate family, and then my uncle, my cousin, and a few others. And so we were there, and my uncle and my cousin, they actually were already played tennis. And so I was like, I want to go. I'll try it. It's vacation. Let's see what happens. So I go, I play with them. It's a weird time. I don't know, I don't remember if I had fun or if I didn't, but that little memory is like, oh, I've played this before. Let me try this. And so I started playing as a like eighth grader going into my freshman year of high school. Started practicing, and I was like, oh, I actually quite like this. Then in my sophomore year, when I was found out I could drive and got my license, I started working at the tennis store. I was like, okay, I think we're good now. And so it's just kind of grown from there. And that is my tennis journey, Jack. That is what got me into tennis. Wanting to play video games all summer, but my mom saying no and essentially telling me to get out of the house. And I was like, all right, I guess tennis it is. And then now we're here. Jinxie, what's up? Not shoot the breeze. I mean, we're kind of doing that right now. Yes, you like the strings, nice. Oliver, yes, hello, I do remember you. What's up, man? How we doing? Aya, you would like to see the purple one, but sometime too. See, I don't have the purple one, Aya, and I got really mad that I didn't get the purple one because tennis rackets, Aya, if you don't know, there's the handle here, this entire part. They come in different sizes because people's hands are different sizes, and the tennis companies know this. So I was like, oh, I knew the purple one was coming out. I had seen it because I was lucky enough to see a picture of it and see it in person before it was officially released. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the purple one in my size. And then it comes time around for the rackets to release. They come out, and by some unforeseen circumstance, all of the size that fits me were gone. I was like, where did it go? And then I could not get one, and I'm still not able to get one. So I personally don't have the purple one. If you want to see it, you may want to look it up just because I personally don't have it. But I think it looks so much better than this one. Personally, I really do. It's so nice. James, hello, how we doing? Yeah. Sands, what's up? Dell, nice glasses, thank you, I appreciate it. Hello, Sir Sands, how are you doing? Boy, favorite player currently and of all time. Right now, I don't think I have a favorite player currently. I just like I just like most I just like most of them. So I don't have a one specific one that stands out. But so far of favorite player of all time, it's a weird and kind of stupid pick, but I just like the guy because of how easy he made everything look on a tennis court. And it was Fabio Fognini of all people. Most people they hear me say that and they're just like, "Why?" I'm like, hey, I just like him, man. When I saw him for the first time as a kid, he was decked out in hydrogen tennis gear, which the brand Hydrogen, their logo is skulls. And so little younger me thought that was awesome. I wasn't emo or anything. I just thought it was awesome because I'd never seen that on a tennis player before. And then the way he actually played and hit the ball, it just looked so effortless. I was like, that guy is cool. And so that's who my favorite player is. Del Toro, am I a skater? Nah, man. I don't know how to skateboard. Clip, why? And Francis Tiafa endorsed the purse up you were showing right now. I know. I know he does. That was pretty cool too. Shadow, let's see. Am I a gamer? I would say I am part gamer, just because I don't play games that often anymore. But I do enjoy a good game. The most recent one I played was Pokemon Legends CA on my Switch. But yeah, that I would say I am a gamer. I may not go like dive deep into some or as many anymore, but I do. Bod, have a good day / night, everyone. You too, Bod. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Cotton Brostaff V13, goated colorway. Pro Staff V14, poop bronze. Agreed. The current colorway of the Pro Staffs, awful. Can't stand them. Malachi, you're not a French fry? Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. Omar, no, I cannot sing Tennessee Whiskey. I remember you asking me this before, and I still have not listened to the song, so I am not able to sing that for you, sir. Jose, I have not heard anything about that, so I do not know if that's real, and I do not have an opinion on it, since I do not know if it's real. Boy, do I work with badminton rackets as well? No, I do not work with badminton rackets. Ali, what's up? How we doing? Stefan, yo, Broseph, do you have any info on the Dunlop Pro Energy 95? You can't find a drop of information online. I do not. I do not, bro. I have not. I have not personally heard of that one. Are you trying to find it? Like, because that was the racket you liked? But no, I have not heard of it. Jinx, what's up? Hack, I don't know what that means, but okay. Ali, Fatima here. What's up? Wait, Ali. Are you Fatima and you just changed your name? I don't think you are, but maybe. Sauce, what's up? Sarah Johnny, hello, how are we doing? Perfect. Yo, you bro, can I ask you something? As long as it's appropriate perfect, then yeah, that should be fine. Sauce, do I like Indians? Yeah. They're people, so yeah, I like people. Sarah Johnny, how are we? We're doing good. How are you doing? However, you gotta wake up in an hour. It's 5 a.m. for you right now. That's crazy, dude. But you're already awake. So you just kind of like staying awake, or are you gonna try and like fall asleep again and just do that? Hi, Nehu. How are you? Thanks for being here. I know I'm late, but thanks for being here. Con, what is my grip size? 4.5 is 4.5 is what I've been messing around with, and that seems to be working for me. Some sometimes like I'll still use a 4 3/8, like that's what this one is, because I bought this before I made the switch to a 4.5. So I kind of go back and forth, but I would say I think if I measure out, I'm supposed to be a 4.5, but it just depends. Like I can use a 4 3/8 and be fine because that's what I use for like my entire time playing tennis. Let's see. Sir Johnny, what's up? What? Nothing. I wouldn't know. I would assume they're asleep. Chill, have I ever seen a snake without bone? I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't think so, just because I'm pretty sure snakes have bones in their skull. So, I don't think I have. Justin, was my Chinese animal sign? Funny enough, it's a snake. Funnily enough, Chill was talking about snakes, and I was born in the year of the snake. So Johnny, how am I? I'm doing good. How are you doing? I appreciate you being here. I I hope you get the chance to get in your size. And thanks for his information. You want to start learning so bad. I mean, you being here, you are kind of already starting to learn it. You can probably like tell me something uh about tennis that I've talked about before. You could probably like spit the fact out if you really tried, but you'll get to playing eventually. I know you will. Zach, good afternoon from Tokyo, Japan. Genki desu ka? Genki desu. Zach, I'm not. I actually. The funny thing is, Zach, if you're still here, I hope you are. Uh, I actually took Japanese in high school for 3 years because that was one of our foreign language options. So I'm trying to rack my brain to remember how to have somewhat of a conversation in Japanese because it's been years since I've had to do this or wanted to do this. So give me like a second if you're still here. If not, then I'm just gonna be thinking about this for a while. Uh, uh, I forgot. I'm sorry. No, that's cool that you're here from Tokyo. That's awesome. What time is it over there in Tokyo? Like Up, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you again as well. Stefan, you have the racket. All you know is that it's an apparently very old, maybe pre 1994 frame. You're just trying to get the specs so I can get a similar one racket in the future. Stefan, if you have the racket, the specs should be on it somewhere. I would think, but if it is an older frame, but like you said, pre 94, they might not be, but I don't know. It might be. What is it? Dunlop. I don't remember the name, but yeah. We'll see. I'll see if I can find something about it, Stefan. Just tell me what the name of it is again. RL, hello, what's up? Perma, how we doing? Addison, say Addison because you're bored going on streams. Interesting. Daniel, what's up? Where are you? I'm at home. I'm at home, Daniel. That's where I'm at. Where are you at, buddy? Or alternatively, what is your favorite stiff frame rackets? You don't like a racket with lots of flex, hence you're looking for info on the Pro Energy. Gotcha. So let's see. Stiff frames that I like currently. The bad thing about that is if you're using a 95, most of the racket frames that are 95s typically are not stiff anymore. But one one you may want to look into is going to be stiffer and um, more towards the control side, even though it's a power racket. Is the Pure Drive 98. You can look into that one. That has tended to be very stiff for people, and so that is one you may want to see. But besides that, you could also do you could do something like you could do the new Dunlop FX 500 Tour. That's a smaller head size power racket, also still from Dunlop, so it'll help give you a little bit more of that same familiar feeling, just because it's a Dunlop racket. Besides that, if you want to go to the extreme end for a stiff racket, I personally like the Slinko Blackout 300 V2. That one has worked very well for me, and it has foam in it to make it not feel as stiff, but it still has like nearly a 70 stiffness rating when it is measured, so still is stiff. The foam just absorbs a lot of the impact. Or you could do something like the Pro Staff 97 V14 because that is quite a stiff frame as well, and that's also a smaller head size. Oh, speaking of the Pro Staff, Stefan, you could also try the Pro Staff 6195 that they still make. Now, granted, that was an 18 by 20, but it is still a Pro Staff, so it is going to be a little bit stiff too. So you have options. It just kind of depends on what you want the racket to help you with a little bit more. Just because there's different ways you can go about getting the smaller head size. You just have to kind of figure out what you are willing to sacrifice in order to get as close to where you are right now with your current Dunlop. see. Lena, hi, I'm back. You're back, but I gotta go now. You're pretty tired. You'll come back on tomorrow live. Well, thanks, Lena. I appreciate it. I'll be back again tomorrow, as you know. Joji, what are we doing? I'm good, man. How are you? Divya, hey, handsome. Where are you from? I'm from the U.S. Divya. Where are you from? Oz knows some Japanese. Watashi wa brody. Nam Watashi wa gosh. Watashi wa brody desu. Yeah. Divya, what happened? I don't know what happened, Divya. What happened? Zach, that's so awesome. Learning Japanese is a good thing. You're still here. Okay, cool. You're still here. Daniel, did I learn Chinese? No, I did not learn Chinese. It was just Japanese. Oz, you forgot most of the little Japanese you knew. Yeah. Like up, shout out to everyone. Yeah. Zach, 1:49 p.m. in Tokyo right now. So by the time you see this, it'll be around 2 p.m. already. And Genki desu ka means how are you in Japanese? Yeah, and that's why I said that was one of the things when we were learning, Zach. My teacher, we always started the class the exact same way, and he always had us start. Someone else started every single day, but he would go to the front of the class. He'd pick whoever. The very first thing we would do is whoever was starting the class, they would say "kirits." We'd all get up out of our chairs. Then the next word we would say "kiotsuke." So we'd all like turn to sensei, and then we would go "re," and then we'd all bow. We'd say what the time was. So like we either say "konnichiwa" or Ohio if we were in the morning. Ohio gozaimasu if we were in the morning, or close to that. I'm forgetting, and then yeah, and then we would sit back down, and then sensei, he would ask genki desu ka, and we would say as a class we would say genki desu. Sensei wa genki desu ka, and he would say what would he say next? I think he would say do itashimashite, and then we would say do itashimashite back, and then we would start class. Like that was our beginning of class ritual. He always had us do from all 3 years that I had his class. And then at the end of class, we would do the exact same thing, but instead of saying the time, like whatever time, or the time greeting for when we were starting class, whenever we were leaving, we would do the exact same sequence, but then we would say sayonara, and then we would leave. And so that was always one thing that like stuck with me just from that class, because we did it so many times. Divya, you're from Nepal. Very cool. That's awesome. What time is it over there in Nepal? Vishal, I do not play badminton. No, I'm so sorry. Jenny, what's up? How are we? ESE, yeah, hello, how are you? You have a question on racket customization? By all means, ask away. I'll help out as much as I can. Con, you think the racket blocking the view of the ceiling? Now you put it down, someone's gonna ask about it. I don't know, man. We gotta fit. Con, you have to fill out your bingo card somehow. But someone has already mentioned it before, so. What are we gonna do? All right, I need to get these out of my pockets. They're getting out. Eee. Sorry, you guys just got whacked with a racket. That's going over here now. Let's see. Robin, you look like a tennis guy. Well, that's what I am, Robin. Stefan, thanks, man. As always, love that you always stick to the point. We'll be tuning in tomorrow morning again. Love from South Africa. Well, thanks, Stefan. I appreciate it. That's awesome. You're tuning in from South Africa. It's so cool just seeing and hearing where everyone's from, because it's like we're all over the world. And me being little, like, not have traveled the world, inexperienced boy from the US, it's like, it's just cool. Joji, you had a good dinner. You had a burrito and a sandwich. Very nice. Zach, you're absolutely correct. And Japanese culture is so nice, don't I think so? Yes. Japanese culture has always been very fascinating to me, and that was one of the reasons why I took Japanese in high school. Like the main reasons I took Japanese in high school. Number one, I didn't want to take French because I never felt like I was going to go to France anytime soon. Now, granted, I knew I wasn't going to Spain or Japan either, but I just didn't want to take French. And then two, I figured I could learn Spanish a little bit easier here in the US than I could Japan, and than I could Japanese, and so I took Japanese instead. Number three, I liked anime. Yeah, and I still like anime. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is a great idea. And then with us actually having a Japanese our sensei who immigrated from Japan to the US, it was even better because he would tell us stories from his time in Japan about how he would go visit his family, and he still would do that. He'd take his family he had built, they would go from here in the US, and then for holidays they'd go back to Japan. He'd come back with like a bunch of little gifts or like little trinkets or stuff, and he'd show us, and he'd be like, all right guys, what do we think? And he was also awesome just because he also loved video games too. So a lot of the times when we were just talking about whatever, or we were doing an example, he would just use a video game example, and I thought that was absolutely awesome. So I will always have a special place in my memory and heart for Sensei and Japanese culture, just because I had an amazing time learning about it. But yeah, it's awesome, Zach. And you're sorry if you're asking irrelevant things. What's this channel about? This way I can ask relevant questions. No, Zach, you're completely fine. I love talking about this. This is awesome. But no, so just as like what the premise of the channel is, Zach. My channel is majorly about tennis gear. Well, tennis, but with a focus on tennis gear. So like tennis rackets, tennis strings, shoes, bag, anything like that. But we all just kind of like hang out, talk about whatever, kind of do whatever that we do. Just because at some point the tennis talk almost always subsides during the streams, and we all just kind of talk, have fun, and hang out. Now, sometimes we go back to the tennis talk if someone has a question. Like I know ESE, they just asked one. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw that they got a text bubble, so I'm assuming that's their question they were referring to earlier. So I'll answer that. And then we all just kind of like hang out in the meantime. So Zach, we'd love to have you. You seem really cool, even being out in Tokyo, Japan, and just from the few times you've talked. So we'd love to have you. But if you gotta go because you're busy being at 2 p.m. over there in Japan, I completely get it. And if you decide to swipe away, I hope you have a great rest of your day, Zach. If not, we'd love to have you here. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Yeah, I just plugged my phone in too. It was getting ready to die. See, yeah, see, what's up? Oz, yeah, I'm sorry, Oz, for hitting the racket on the camera. Joji, does you want Sora Gawa Ka Runode? Joji, I can under I can I'll answer the I'll answer Oz's question, and then that'll lead into me talking about your thing, Joji. But Oz, yes, I did learn hiragana and katakana, and I was also learning kanji at the same time. So like the way it was structured for us was the very first year of Japanese class, you learned nothing but hiragana. Like we did not touch katakana or kanji. We just did hiragana. And then the second year, we started throwing katakana into there and very little things of kanji in there as well, especially like towards the end of the year when we started getting done with learning the katakana alphabet and everything. And then the third year, it was the mix of both, mix of all of them. So you had hiragana thrown in there, you had katakana, and you had kanji in there, all thrown together. We're still learning new kanji every single day, or like, well, almost every day. But yeah, we had all of them thrown in there. However, since it's been a while, I still remember like, I'd say I maybe remember like half of the hiragana ones. And so sometimes if I see them together, like in Joji's comment that he made, I can pick them out and like if I see the symbol, it's like, oh yeah, I know which one that is, and I can kind of get an idea of what he's saying. But there's some of them I'm just like, I'm out. My brain has forgotten, but it's so cool. I actually have a Japanese keyboard on my phone, and I have one person in my phone saved with their contact name as their Japanese name because that's where her and I actually became very good friends in high school was in Japanese class. So I have her saved under her Japanese name and that's always fun. Every so often I'll see them like, yeah, those were great times. But no, Japan Japanese is sick. I like it. Whenever you give French a chance and study it hard, you start hating it more. Yeah, I don't think I could. I don't think I could do French. I might be able to, but nah. Elder, what's up? How we doing? Joji, interesting. House, I've never met you before, I believe. So ESE, so you have 4 different types of rackets, and you feel like each racket has a different contribution that fits your playing style. But I feel like but you feel like some need more weight. Do I customize them to the same spec? ESE, that I would say probably depends on what is the part of your game that you want the rackets to help you with more. And so if you're wanting, say, if you have a way to test them and like see where they're all spec'd at, that would be the best because that will give you an idea of what spec you like playing with the most. And then once you dial in one of them, so like you test the 4 rackets you have, like you get the balance, you get the swing weight, you get the yeah, balance, swing weight, you get like some people do twist weight. I don't really like use that much. And then you just kind of like get you mainly get those 2 things. And then after you figure out, okay, I like this one the best. This is what I play with. You figure out how you want that one to work. And then once you get that one to work and you get it to the spec you want, then I think you customize the other 3 to that spec. Because once you figure out whatever one is going to work best for you, then it's just a very easy, like, okay, I just need to add a little bit of lead tape here. I maybe need to get a leather grip like I have underneath this grip on my purse, on this purse hub. Maybe I need to get a leather grip here, and you can kind of mess around with it a little bit easier. So I would say maybe not customize all 4 of them right now, but get the specs of all of them, and then whichever one you like playing with the most, work specifically with that one, that to see how it can contribute to your game the most. And then once you have that one racket solidified, then bring the other 3 in and just customize it to that specific racket, or get it as similar to that as you can. Now you say you have 4 different types of rackets, and they'll all have different contributions, but I feel like if you make the choice between the 4 and be like, this is the one I like the most, then it's a lot easier to figure out where the other 3 are. And you're like, okay, if this is where, say like you prefer a control racket and you're trying to customize a power racket to feel like that, then you're like, okay, this is where the control racket is. Now I can maybe add more weight to the handle, or I can put silicone into the handle in order to bring the bring the racket on the power one to a more head light balance, kind of like your control racket would typically be. And then you can kind of mess around with that and see, and still keep the power from the power racket just because of the beam width and the stiffness. But you can swing it a little bit more like your control racket. So ESE, I hope that helps. If you have more questions, please by all means comment away. I'll help out as much as I can. But that is probably what I'd say. Pick one of the 4 you like the best and works overall the best for your game, and then spec that one to where you really want it, and then match the other 3 to that. That's what I would say. Just without knowing anything else. Just that basic information. Chef, your phone is at 2%. That's crazy. Elder, have I ever tried the Yonex Regna? No, I have not tried the Regna. I think I've strung one, but I've not got to try it. I want to try it, but no, I've not got to yet. I also will most likely not pay the money to buy one, especially me not living in Japan or anything. But I would like to try one. It seems like a fun racket. Zach, that's awesome, and you appreciate me for taking the time to explain about the channel. You wish for the best, and yes, thank you so much for having me here as I am. I'm free today, so I'll be here. Well, that's awesome, Zach. I'm glad you're here. Preston, what's up, buddy? Yeah, bro. Preston, what time is it for you? Aren't we on like the same time zone? You need to go to bed. If we are, you need to go to bed, dude. Because I know you yeah, you need to go to bed. I appreciate you being here, but sleep is, I would argue, more important. Zach, you believe it'll be so nice to sit with you and talk about life. You're that person who listens. So cool. Okay. Maybe we sit together nearby a river and have good conversation. I'd love to with you. Zach, that sounds like an amazing time. That sounds absolutely wonderful. We may have to at some point. If I ever actually make it out to Japan, we'll have to see how that's going and how to do that. Elder, what's up? You're back. Welcome back. Joji, your school has 18 different languages. German, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Somali, Portuguese, Italian, Swahili, French, Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Serbian, Finnish, Dutch, Turkish, and Greek. That's insane. That's a little crazy, dude. But good on you. Ow. Ow. I'm in pain. I have pimples on my back, and one of them, I guess, decided to flare up, and it's causing pain. Not fun. Not fun at all. Joe, do you have water leaks in the ceiling? I don't think I do anymore, Joe. I just know it's a very old ceiling, so that's all I know. Zach, your name is Kaya Sionji. Yeah, so then Kaya, if that's your name, nice to meet you as well, Kaya. But if that's your name, why does your profile say Zach? Super Cat, what's up? How we doing? Elder, you're so curious about the Regna. I would be too, man. It's interesting. I've seen them. I've held one. I'm pretty sure I strung one. I have a picture of one, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting to actually get to play with one. Super, you're getting a Mac Mini on Christmas with accessories and porta screen. Nice. Valdez, what's up? Just laughing at that. Okay. Let's see. Wasp, hello. Let's see. Only the fact that it's only in Japan makes it so interesting. Yeah, it being a Japanese exclusive, it is going to be a it's an interesting thing, and it's making more and more people want to try it if they ever hear about it. That's the thing. Most people in America probably never have heard of it, but if you dive deep enough, you see, oh, what is that? But then they get scared by the price, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't need it. I don't need to touch that. Yeah, see, your V-Core gives you spin and comfort, your Ezen gives you power and control, your Sunset Rafa Arrow gives you consistency and control, and you get the last one strength. Any tips on weight placements to help? Help you with what, though? Because there's not really, yeah, see, you have the rackets, and you've said what they help you with, but you have not said what you want them, what you have not said how you want them to help you and why you think customizing will achieve this. So if you could tell me that, or you could tell me which one you prefer playing with more, because basic, because the basic idea, at least in my head, is you have a V-Core, you have an E-Zone, you have a Pure Arrow, and you have a racket yet to be named. So you have 2 spin rackets and you have 1 power racket. Fourth one, I don't know what that is yet. But depending on what you want the rackets to help you with, and it may be different for each one, which you may have to change the weight, put the weights in different places on each one, and that's fine. But depending on what you want each racket to help you with, that's going to change, say, like where the weight's going to be placed, or even what string you put in. So if you could point me towards a direction as to where you want help with, then I might be able to give you a better like customizing like roadmap or way to go about it. What's up, Isaac? Welcome back. How we doing? Let's see. Am I doing Thanksgiving Day on Thursday? I am. My family is celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, yes. but I will be streaming. I will be streaming as well on Thursday. It will probably not be until the normal times, but well, my normal scheduled time, but I will be streaming. Hold on, did I miss something? No, I did not. Okay. There it is. Okay. Japanese are always making good stuff. Very true. Preston, you promised I'll go to bed, but what time are you streaming tomorrow? You gotta make sure I'm there right when it starts. So Preston, if nothing goes, or like no outside circumstances preventing me from doing this, I should be streaming at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night on Wednesday today on Wednesday the 26th. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when I should be here. Valdez, just stop. Leave him alone. Elder, wow, that's in cars, rackets, etc. Nice. Wasp, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. George, hello. How are you? Appreciate the compliment. Cotton bingo. Nice. Let's see. You've been here before. Vliusha? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Please correct me on how to say it. How much money do I think is enough to never work again? I think that is subjective I think that's subjective per person, because not everyone wants to live the same lifestyle as someone else. So can't I don't think I can necessarily say that as like a general blanket statement, just because where you live changes the answer, how much, like how big of a life and how lavish of a life, how comfortable you want to be. There's so many factors that go into that. So I don't think I can give you an exact answer, Blyusha. That is not, I don't think that is for me to determine. Oz toothpaste works on spots on the back, dries them out. Thanks, Oz. Yeah, that's also what the medicine I'm on is to help with. So I may try that. We shall see. Kaya, yes. Kindly let me know when you visit Japan. I'll be there to get you. I can't share my Instagram username here. However, if you can, it's okay with you. You may let me know your IG username. So, Kaya, the funny thing is, I actually just deleted Instagram because I was just getting off of it, and I was like, I I quite literally today, I don't know, between Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat, I don't I did nothing today. Like I was just on those apps alone. I don't even need to look at my screen time to know. I was fully cognizant of me doing the doom scrolling. But so I just deleted them off my phone. Like when I got home from tennis, I was listening to a few of my friends, and they do like a little Zoom call every week. So I was listening to one of those because they record them. But they were just saying how we can all get trapped and sucked into social media and everything, and how much it just like stops you from being able to actually think clearly about how you can actually work through your life and just kind of a bunch of other stuff. So I was like, that's fair. I get that. So I just deleted Instagram. So I don't plan on necessarily coming to Japan anytime soon because I don't even have my own passport yet. Like I still would need to get one. or like renew it, but we'll figure it out, Kaya. We'll figure it out when the time comes. Kaya, how old are you? Because you said you want to sit next to a river and talk about life. So, how old are you? And how old do you think I am? Because that, depending on the ages here, these are going to either be some interesting conversations or these are going to be like, I feel like one is going to become, if we're around the same age, these are going to be interesting conversations. If one of us is much older than the other, then I think this is going to be like, this might turn into something like one is trying to teach the other the lessons they have learned. But I'm not sure. But how old are you? Joji, you're homeschooled in your school. They have a homeschool program. You're in the homeschool program. You go to this private academy, which is in Cincinnati. Your dad had to drive 4 hours to get me to school. Joji, that's crazy. But Joji, if your school's in Cincinnati, you're close to me. That's crazy, man. Zach, you're at Kaya. Sorry, Kaya. You're also into basketball, and actually, Zach Levine, number 8, is your favorite basketball player. So you put that as your username. Very cool. Very nice. Hello. I'm sorry I don't speak. I think that's Russian. I'm sorry I don't speak Russian, so I cannot say anything. Pink, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. Joji, we have all teachers from 19 nations. That's pretty important, I would say. Very, very nice. Isaac, because of the snow outside on Thursday night for Thanksgiving Day. No, my family's always done Thanksgiving early. Like we've always done it around like 12 or 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. So that's why. Nothing like weather planning. ESC. Okay, get my stuff for customizing tomorrow, and I'll figure things out and let you know. I'm customizing a rack to try and mimic Rafa Nadal's exact racket. Why? Why? How could that possibly help you? Just try and find on eBay like old Aero Pro drives. Just try that. That'll probably be a little bit easier to do than customizing these. Jessica, hello, good morning to you. I'm doing pretty good, Jessica. We're all kind of hanging out, having fun. What's going on with you? Joji used to live in West Virginia. Your dad had to put you all the way in Cincinnati. Good education is pretty good. With any words, learning really good stuff. Nice. Good to hear, Joji. Play styles. I'm sorry. I will not be able to listen to that because there's no good way for me to play different audio without absolutely looping the sound, and that would sound terrible. So no. Lonely girl? No, I will not give a home tour, sadly. Jessica lol, you're not in social media too. Install Insta for work related. You just got YouTube lol, and you just use your phone for calling and work related. Yeah. Very nice. Mothman and Ryan looks like they're having a moment in the comments. Nice. Jessica, by the way, how old am I? I'm 24, Jessica. I just turned 24 last month. Most people don't believe me. The beard usually makes them think much older than that. But no, I'm just 24. Kaya, you're 26, and I think you'll be the same as me, or maybe a year or two older than me. Me too. I don't like social media nor spend much time on Insta, Facebook. Sorry, waste of time, I would say. Yeah, man. I don't even necessarily want to look at how much my screen time was for today, but I know it was bad. I know it was bad, and I got rid of it. I got rid of those two things. I'm not going to get rid of YouTube. This one is kind of like my thing. Like I'm actually actively working to make this bigger and better. But Instagram and Facebook, I hadn't really posted anything on there for a while, so I was like, those are fine to go. And Snapchat, that's how most all my friends talk at all. So I was like, all right, I'll keep that one. That one's fine. Isaac, yo, what's my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song? Um, Let me look at his discography. I don't listen to him much. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the basic answer and say Crazy Train. Mainly just because Crazy Train was the was one of the songs that we played when when I was in high school. We played that as the band for football games, basketball games, pep rallies. We would play Crazy Train, and it was always a really fun time. So I will say Crazy Train is my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song. Isaac, Jessica, your English is messed up. You seem to be doing pretty good, Jessica, with your English. So I think you're doing pretty great. Jessica, oh, you're young. You sound mature, which is a good thing. You're 1 year older than me. Yeah, Jess. Like I said, most people they don't expect 24 with this beard, and also how I talk. Like most people, most people do not think I am 24. They have never thought I was my actual age. They've always thought I was older. Like I don't think I've had a single person that has ever said that they have met me and thought I was younger than than what I actually was. They always said I either was older based off how I talked or my demeanor, as well as the beard. The beard usually gets them. They're just like, you gotta be. The oldest I ever got, like someone guessed. We were playing this game. It wasn't someone I knew. Like they just came to my store and they asked how old I was, and I was like, "You really want to play this game?" They're like, "Sure." And so I was like, "All right, what's your guess?" And mind you, at the time, my beard was bushier, like it was almost down to here on me. And they guessed I think they said in my 40s. And I was like, "Nope." And yeah. So he's like, "Well, how old are you?" I said, I am 19." His jaw dropped to the floor. He's like, "There's no way you are 19." I was like, "You want to see my license?" So I pulled my license out. He looked at the date of birth and then he looked at me. He's like, "Dude, that's insane. That beard did so much." I was like, "I know, right?" Joji, you live in Montana, and now the nearest private academy from you. Did they have They have all the way in Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Interesting. Isaac, Side Out 2 movie, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train last year. I don't know what that means, Isaac. Jessica, I'm perfect the way I am. Well, thanks, Jess. We're always looking to improve, but we gotta take what we get. Jessica, people in your state look so young. Someone of 30 years old looks like 11 or 12. Jessica, what state are you from? Girls are too short and looking up. Interesting. Let's see. Grimace, what's up? Nikki, which E-Zone do I like? The new 25, do I like the new 2025 one or the older one, and why? So I like the old one better. I like Gen 7 better than I like the new 2025 one. That is my take. I know it's probably a hot take because almost everyone loves that new E-Zone, but I personally like the older one better. And my thing is that the older one, it was a thinner beam. It was a little bit stiffer, so it had a little bit more feel. And by doing that, to me, it just played better. It was more maneuverable, and it just worked. Now the new one, with the Miniland technology that they put into the racket in 2025, as well as they thickened the beam, and those were the two big things. It is more muted compared to the old one. It's a little bit harder to swing through the air for most people. Most people probably, well, it's a little bit harder to swing through the air just because it's a thicker beam, so there's more wind resistance. And it just doesn't feel the same. So I personally, Nikhil, prefer the Gen 7, the version right before the 2025 one. But I know I'm probably in the minority. However, usually what ended up happening was if someone liked the Gen 7 one and that was their racket of choice, what I saw, and this is not true for everyone, is that they tended to not like the Gen 8 as much and they just preferred their Gen 7. So that's what I've seen. I personally much prefer Gen 7 over Gen 8, the new one. So that is my take on the new E-Zones. Grimace, correct. I do look old. Most people think I am. Zach, from your end, you would talk about business, cars, and bike modifications, and at the same time about the universe. Trust me, give it a deep thought about the universe. You'll suffocate. How about you? Zach, not Zach, Kaya. Sorry, I just see the name on YouTube, and I wrote it down so I would remember, but Kaya, you and me, business, bro, we'd be talking. Like, I like talking about business too. That's super cool. But business, talking about the universe, I'll talk about the universe with you. Cars and bike modifications, I couldn't tell you anything about them. Like, probably not your guy. But business, universe, whatever else we get to, oh yeah, I'll dive deep. I'll go with you. We'll take that mental trip. Cannot wait. How about myself? So, I'm going to have topics like you. Business, very fun. I like talking about business. It seems like a great time. Money, I really like. I always want more of it. Money. Tennis, that's a big one for me personally. Video games were always fun. Musical theater, musical theater and music. That's one of my big things, Kaya. Really, really into that. Most people wouldn't think that looking at me, but really into that. And then, yeah, we want to go universe. We want to go philosophical. We can go philosophical. We have done that in these streams at times before, too. People have asked me philosophical questions. and I've answered some of them, and we're just like, oh, all right, that's where this stream went. It was crazy, but it's what happened. But yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have some great conversations, Kaya, when that does happen. Jessica, you're saying you're chubby and you think you look older. I doubt you probably look older, Jessica. Joji, two things. Your school, they actually believe in that people should learn things like in high school they would teach you in college. Interesting. Very nice. Isaac, Disney Side Out. What? Disney Side Out 2. Oh, Inside Out? Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about Inside Out, Isaac? June 14th? Jessica, you're from Meghalaya, Northeast India. Very cool. Thank you for being here all the way in India. I appreciate it. And thank you for the chat, for the super chat as well. It means a lot. It really does. Sarah, don't worry. That is not happening. Jose, please, your opinion on the Gravity MP 2025. It's fine. Like, the big thing about the Gravity MP, whether you look at the 2025 or any of the versions, is just the fact that because it's a 100 square inch head size with a 16 by 20 string pattern, it is going to be a little bit more control oriented than, say, a Blade 100, because that has the 16 by 19 string pattern in it. But the Gravity line as well, with it being one of the most flexible racket lines, well, it is the most flexible racket line from head, I believe, as well as one of the most flexible racket lines compared to most of the top brands that are out there currently. The only one that I think beats it is the Wilson Clash, which beats pretty much almost everything. Well, technically you have the triads too, but most people aren't using the triads. However, with the Gravity MP, typically easy on the arm, so not necessarily going to be as causing tennis elbow as much, which always good. And there's a lot of feel from the Gravity MP. I am not entirely sure how I feel about it with the Auxetic 2.0 technology into it. The Auxetic 2.0 technology, I'm finding more and more. I may not be the biggest fan of, just because it does feel quite muted, and to me, I don't personally get as much feel off the racket as previous iterations, but I think it can still work for a lot of people. It just definitely is something you should demo first before you just dive deep into getting one, because you don't want to make the mistake of getting a racket that's too flexible and then you end up hating it because it doesn't feel right and it's just a terrible time. You don't want to do that. Kaya, do I love bikes, by the way? Kaya, I don't know how to ride a bike. So, no. Jessica, usually when you go out of your state, people treat you like kids, but you aren't. Well, it's different from village to village. Interesting. No. Interesting. Joji, 15 years old. On December 2nd, you'll be 16 years old. That's awesome, Joji. Big 16. Getting ready to drive soon. Jessica, you're having a fever and you're feeling that it's causing you to not want to cook, but you have to. Why do you have to? Cotton, the highest level players like the Gen 7 Ezen because it's more balanced. The recreational players like Gen 8 because more free power and color. That's Cotton's take. Interesting take, buddy. I like I like the color part. That's funny. Nivek, what specific string tension range would give the most control on a 97 square inch frame when switching from a polyester to a multi-filament while keeping the swing weight identical? So, Nivek, if you're keeping swing weight identical and you're switching from polyester to a multi-filament, it would probably, to me, it would depend on what you're already stringing the polyester at. My usual rule of thumb for people is to just because if you've never used multi before and you're switching from poly, because multi is so much. Sorry, I thought I could talk through it, but with multi being so much easier on your arm, you can get away with going tighter in tension, as you probably already knew that since the specificity of your question. However, since you're switching from polyester to multi-filament, depending upon what multi-filament, as well as depending upon what you're switching from, my typical recommendation for people is to string the multi-filaments at about 2 pounds higher than what they normally string polyester at. However, if that would say your recommended tension range on your racket is from 50 to 60 pounds for basic math, or well, like easy math for me. If say you were at, for some reason, using 59 pounds on polyester, which I'm hoping that's not the case here. But if you were to use 59 pounds on polyester, then my typical recommendation is to go two tighter than that. So at that point, it would be 61. However, I will almost never recommend someone to go outside the recommended tension range. So that way I would just say like go 60. But usually I like to have people do a 2 pound difference in terms of the multi-filament being 2 pounds tighter. But if you think that might not be enough, depending upon the multi-filament you're using or what poly you use, then you could you could move up potentially like 3 or 4 pounds at a time when you do the initial switch, but it really just depends on what you're using. That's kind of like the key thing here that I don't know, so I can't go too far into where I think where I think might work. And I can't be as probably as specific as you want me to be. R1 in another universe, I'm in the X-Men. Interesting. Okay. Ryan, what are you referencing? Nikki, did you play with the Pure Strike 9860 by 19? How did you play with? How did it feel? Nikki, let's see. Nikki, Pure Strike 9860 by 9. How did you play with it? How did it feel? With the Pure Strike line, the big thing about it is like, for me personally, when I play with the Pure Strike, I never have felt like it's the best thing in the world. Like I've never played with the Pure Strike and been like, oh, this does this thing really, really great. It just kind of is an all around balanced control racket. And like it does everything pretty good. It's a little bit more powerful than some of the control rackets just because it's a Babolat racket. However, many of the brands all have control rackets that are almost the exact same spec as the Pure Strike 9860 by 19 now. And there's so many options that I personally think that there are quite a few better options than the Pure Strike. But if you want a control racket that is a little bit more powerful and is going to give you a little bit more feel because it's a little bit stiffer, I think the Pure Strike can do well. I personally probably would not switch to it, but it can do well. It's there. It's definitely worth a demo if you're trying to control rackets just to see what you think. Give you a chance from Babolat, but it's never been anything like extremely like prominent for me. It's always been there. It's always done well. It's just flown under the radar ever since there's not really any big player actually using it. After Dominic Thiem. Uh, Ryan, I do not know any of the people that you mentioned. Isaac, Inside Out 2, Riley likes Ozzy Osbourne. Nice. All right, cool. Felipe, what's up, bro? Greetings from Brazil to you. What's up, Felipe? Thank you for being here all the way in Brazil. I appreciate it. Shoji, your dad can't drive all the way to Cheyenne. That's really far. Plus, he has to work. He paid for your homeschool program, which is a lot cheaper. It's 500 a month. Homeschool program, not homeschool program, was 1,500 a month. Interesting. Junior? No, I'm a real human. Jessica, you live just you and your small brothers, so you have no choice. They said Big Sis allows to cook, but you can't. They're having exams. Oh. Oh. Nico, keep it up. Keep it up, love what you're doing. Thanks, Nico. I appreciate it. Jessica, your small brother is your small brother is 11 and one is 9. They do join me while watching your live too. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you all being here. That means a lot to me. Mteka, what is up? How are we? Is the new FX 500 a switch from the older version? Much difference? Honestly, I can't tell exactly yet. Just because I have I have the new Dunlop out as a demo, and I've played with it a few times. I It's weird, man. Like, I'm still trying to get a feel and a read for it, but I don't know. I need to play with it at least once more to like really see, but right now I'm not sure, Mteka. I'm honestly not. I know that other reviewers online have been saying how it's a world of difference, but to me, it's just like, I don't know, dude. I'm not sure yet. I need to play with it a little bit more to say for certain. Joji, you're saying you have a friend from Northeast India. They say he was 5 hours away from Jessica's village. That's interesting. Nikki, Jessica, do you play tennis in the Northeast? Kaya, business talk? Deal. You don't like bikes? You'll learn how to ride a bike after visiting me. Interesting. Get Get a passport soon. Get a passport soon, Brody. Don't worry about expenditure to stay because you're welcome to stay at my place. Well, thank you, Kaya. I appreciate that. You're not the only person that has told me to get my passport, Kaya. I've had many people in these streams because I do them every day. They have been telling me to get my passport so that way I can just like go to a different country and get out of the US for a little bit. And I'm just like, the US is kind of cool, guys. I mean, I'm having a good time here, but that's just me. I don't know. But we'll see, Kaya. I might get my passport redone here soon. R1, you're pausing. I don't know what for. Jessica, your English and topics. No, they don't. You're completely fine, Jessica. Let's see. Jessica, yes, we do at Nicky, but we're more of a football fan. Out here, they play football really well. And what about Nicky? You're from India. You're from India, right? Very nice. Mr. Wiggles, what's up? How we doing? Does Jessica play tennis? Interesting question. Isaac, you're on winter break. Your winter break starts on December 22nd. Very nice. Zashian, what's up? How we doing? Jody's friends from Assam, nice. Jessica, you did play tennis with your dad last year, but now you don't have as much time. Interesting. P. Smith, what's for dinner? I don't know, dude. It is nearly 1 in the morning here where I live, so whatever I do, it's got to be quiet so I don't wake anyone else up that's in this house. Isaac, you miss your friend named Camilla from Kennedy High School. Well, hopefully you can reconnect with her, Isaac, at some point. Nikki is from you're in the south from Andhra Pradesh. Interesting. Cotton, you like the grip shape and the buck have a battle at the most, but you've never owned one. Interesting. Sashin, I don't know what that means. Lopez, what is my favorite cheese strain? I don't know what that means, so I don't know how to respond to that. Con, on the other hand, your current racket, Tecnifiber's grip shape, really rectangular. You keep ending up with the continental grip. That's not good. Sherry, when was my last migraine? I have no idea, Sherry. I really don't. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm very lucky to not get migraines that much. My sister gets migraines all the time, but I'm very lucky that I do not. Zuhira, hello again. I look so sweet, and I'm sorry, I don't know what the second half of the message was, but I appreciate the compliment. Hello again. Thanks for being here. MTech Babla has 2nd gen 285 gram racket. You tested that was nice, but it's the Evo Drive Tour 285 gram. You never tested the Pure Drive Team 285 gram. Have you tested both? So MTech, I have not tested the I've not tested the Evo Drive Tour, but I have tested the Pure Drive Team. The big thing about the Evo drives is, and I want to make sure I'm talking about I want to make sure I talk about the right one to make sure it's not Gen 2. Oh, I need the specs. But the thing about the Evo Drive Tours is typically what the Evos do is that they're usually much more like beginner friendly, especially because of the string pattern that's in them. Oh, well the Evo Drive Tour is not, but it's a 102 head size. That makes sense. Yeah. So it's still being more player friendly with the bigger head size and everything. So that's where the Evo drives come in. They're more of beginner to intermediate frames, whereas the Battle Pure Drive, they can just kind of go and be more towards. Some people use it as a beginner racket. I like giving it to people as their first like adult racket, just because it has done very well over many years. For at least for people I've recommended it for, I've always had a good track record with it. But compared to the Evo Drive Tour, I would say the normal Pure Drive. Again, I've not demoed it, not tested it, so take with this a grain of salt, but I would probably lean towards the Pure Drive just because I've had more success with recommending that to people than I ever have with recommending the Evo Drive Tour to someone. That's what I would say, Mteka. Joji, you have 2 friends from Northeast India. Very cool. Andrew, thoughts on the Wilson Ultra Pro 99? Very powerful, very spin friendly, launches the ball. Like, launches the ball. Like, if you do not have a string that is in there that can help you control that thing, your ball's probably going to be flying. Now, I've only hit with it a few times, and it was my friend's racket just because he switched from a V-Core. Yeah, he switched from a V-Core 98 to the Wilson Ultra Tour 99. So, very powerful. Even with a polyester that's not very powerful in itself, the racket is just that powerful. But you got to be able to control the thing. That's the biggest thing I've heard of from him and just from other people that have played with it. Control is very hard, as well as it just tears into your string. That's where like if you are okay with restringing more often, then it's fine. But if you don't want to have to restring your racket that much, then the Ultra Tour is probably not the way to go. Just because the Steams, which is what the Ultra Tour is, it's an old Steam model. I think it's the Steam 99. The Steam essentially was the spin racket at the time, I believe, and the 16 by 18 string pattern of the Ultra Tour 99 just kind of like further shows enhance that because there's more room for the strings to move around and to generate more spin and generate more power. So it can play very well, but you have to be, in my opinion, you have to be a much better player who's able to control the ball a lot more on your own with the string helping you sometimes in order to make it work the best for you. That is what I would say, Andrew. Hopefully that helps. Jessica, you want me to come visit India and your state in the future? Maybe I can stay in your home. Well, you'll be going now. Got to get to work. Good night. God bless and sweet dreams. Do take care and stay safe. Well, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day at work. The fact that you're going to work with a fever and you're also cooking for your 2 brothers, insane to me. Good on you. I don't know but if that's congratulations, but I respect it. I respect it a lot, Jessica. But yes, have a great day, and hopefully you feel better soon. Isaac, she has a boyfriend. That doesn't mean you can't like say hi to an old friend. I quite literally reached out to one of my old friends that she just got engaged, and I was like, "Hey, you, me, and two others. You guys want to get dinner so that way we can all just like see each other and talk again?" And she was like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." And so and so we're finally settling on a date and a time, and we're all gonna have a great time. So even if they're in a even if they're in a relationship, if they were a good friend, and you just haven't seen them in a while, message them. Be like, "Hey, hope you're doing good. I'd love to talk. I'd love to reminisce with you at some point." Jessica, by Bordy, by Joji, by Nikki, Brent. Nah, it's all good, Jess. Let's see. Kaya, you need to go. You have to go now, Brody. However, it's nice to meet you. Always remember that you're awesome. Keep doing what you love. You only once, make the most out of it. I'll see you around. Thank you, Kaya. I do appreciate you being here. It was great talking with you. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you again at another live stream, Kaya. That'd be awesome. I do these at least once a day for half an hour. And yeah, let's see. I saw you sent another message, so I'll wait to say the official goodbye. But now we're here. Moreover, when the right time comes, we'll get in touch and plan together to meet up. For now, I'll go get some work done. Forget me not. Sayonara, Brody. Sayonara, Kaya. And yeah, I definitely hope that I can catch you at another live stream, Kaya. That would be awesome. If you're still here, I am going to be live streaming every day for the rest of the year for at least half an hour. So that is my commitment I made to myself, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So, Kaya, if you're still here, I'd love to see you and have you at another live stream just so that way we can keep talking, buddy. But yeah, have a great day, get some work done, and I'll see you next time. All right. So if you hear it, and you subscribe, by the way. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. Isaac, there's snow outside your hometown of Chicago today. Ah, dude, that's crazy. If it's been snowing, that's crazy, dude. Let's see. Emteca, what's the most maneuverable 100-inch 285 gram? Thanks, great info. Okay. How strong are you? Because like you could make the case for almost any of them, depending upon like how much strength you personally have, Emteca. But I don't know, dude. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of the one that's the most maneuverable. Just because most 100-inch 285 gram rackets are typically power rackets, and those are usually more evenly balanced, so they're not necessarily focusing on being head light to make them a little bit more maneuverable. If anything, they're trying to go the opposite way and be a little bit more head heavy to help with power or anything. But I don't know, dude. Off the top of my head, I don't think I have a good answer right away. Don, what's up? How we doing? What? Lele? Hello? What's up? How are we? Uh, friends not food? No. I will not go vegan. MTech, most are very thick and head heavy. Exactly. That's why I can't think of a good example off the top of my head. Joji, Brody, what was your best thing in high school that you ever did and that you really want to do again? For you, that you're 15, basically I'm a senior when what? You're 15, basically, and basically you're a senior when you're going to graduate high school. Joji, the best thing that I did in high school, um, hmm, the best thing I did in high school, at least for myself, or that I got to do with other people, was probably being in the music department for some of my classes. So, like, when I was in high school, I was in majority of the time I was in my high school's jazz band. I eventually did some of the I eventually did some choir, and I tried marching band, didn't care for it. So I went back to jazz band. But I also did stuff such as playing in our school's pep band. So we had a great time. We had a great time playing our instruments for football games, basketball games, any other events like that. We had a fun time, as well as I did musical theater and I did my school's drama club. That was amazing. I made probably some very, very lifelong friends in both of those departments. And then for me, those were probably like the best things I did, just because I was very interested and I found out from early on that I enjoyed doing them. So I would just try. I would just try things, Joji. I mean, you do a lot of stuff from home, so you kind of have to work a little bit harder to go out and find things to do. But for me, high school was majority like I did tennis, and then I was doing something in the music department, whether it be band, musical theater, something like that. Those were like my two things. I didn't do much of it. I didn't do much of anything else, and I had a great time. Now, granted, of course, with my other classes, I did my homework, and I had friends, and I hung out with friends. So did a few other things, but if you saw me in high school, I was either in class, which that doesn't count because it's not an extracurricular, but I was either playing tennis when I was in season, or I was doing theater and band. That was it. So music for me and being involved with that was probably the best thing I did in high school, Joji. That would be my answer, sir. Isaac, I did not see Brock Lesnar fall from a stage. I don't know what you're talking about. Con, lunchtime's over in your time zone. Gotcha. Bye. Good night for you. Well, thank you, Cotton. I appreciate that. Yes. Well, technically it would be good morning since it's 1:12 a.m. in my time zone. But yeah, thanks, Cotton. See you next time, buddy. Lele, you're good. How about me? I'm doing good, Lele. Honestly, I've been here for 2 hours, but like I just said, it is past 1:12 in the morning here my time, because I'm in Eastern Standard Time here in the US. But so we may end the live stream here within like the next 5 to 6 minutes, just because it's been we've been here for a minute, and I would like to go to bed at some point. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Joji, your dad's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As you see in your profile, you see a LSU purple T-shirt. Yeah, yeah, it was LSU game. Man, who was a good what? Southern University. See, Joji, you had me there, and then you lost me. You lost me at like the last when you started talking about the HBCU school. That's where you lost me. JF, where did I get the red light therapy glasses? QVC? No, I actually got these off Amazon. They were recommended to me by a friend who's really into like health and wellness and fitness and all that. Al Xavier, happy birthday. That's awesome. How old are you turning, buddy? Joji saying hi. Isaac, you saw Brock Lesnar fall on stage Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Interesting. Okay. Was he hurt? I hope not. Thundrix? Is that it? Yeah. What's up, Thundrix? How we doing? Too much his genes? I don't know what that means, Isaac. All right. So for the last few minutes of the stream, co-host Kirby's going to make his appearance. For those of you who don't know, this is co-host Kirby. He is my co-host. So if I ever have to do something to where I have to get up or leave this chair for a long time, co-host Kirby kind of takes over. But we didn't have to do that this stream. So co-host Kirby has to at least make his appearance in the stream. So he'll be here with us for the rest of the stream. That's it. If you have any questions for Kirby, he is also here to answer them as well. And yeah, be nice to him. Thundrix, dude, you have a Bugatti Veyron. Cool. It's a car, dude. I'm not a car dude. I'm not a car guy. I don't get excited by cars. What's up, next level? How we doing? Thundrix, what are you saying no to? What you what you talking about, man? You're gonna have to like be a little more specific for that, please. Nah, Thundrix. Kirby, he's gonna survive. Him and his sword, like this little thing, he will survive. Isaac, so he was falling on the stage on Monday Night Raw, but there was too much stuff in his jeans, and that's why it was funny. I think that's what you're saying. Next level, you only have a scooter. Why do you have a Why do you only have a scooter? What do you mean by that? Joji, you're not going to bed right now, but in about mountain time, so might go to bed around 1:33 a.m. in the morning. Your class is at 11 a.m., so if you sleep till 10:30. Joji, go to bed. Joji, just go to bed now. You're in Mountain Standard Time, so you're 2 hours behind me. That means it is almost midnight for you. Go to bed, sir. Yes, Thundrix. Kirby is sleeping with his eyes open. They don't close. Alright. Cool. Alright, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, think very nice, Isaac. I don't know I don't really know anything about wrestling or WWE or anything. My brother's really into it. I never really got into it, but I know somewhat about what you're talking about. Joji, you know what? That was the best thing I ever had. You got some good sleep. Sometimes it's the best thing. Yeah, Joji. Sometimes a good sleep is the best thing. So go to sleep, buddy, because that's probably what I'm about to do. Next level 7th Feb India, I'm assuming, versus USA cricket match. Nice. Joji, yes, Kirby. Yes, Kirby. You have a Kirby plushie too, Joji. That's awesome. Isaac, sorry to say, bud, I will not say my brother's name just to keep his level of secrecy. I know I'm not that big yet, but I have not gotten permission from him to use his name or talk about his name and anything like that. So I will just leave it as my brother. But yeah. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end the stream here, like almost now, because as I said, it is very late or early, depending upon how you look at it. Here where I live, and in a Eastern Standard Time. So that being said, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I know I started the stream much later than I normally do, and because you were here, it means a lot. Life, bye, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate all of you being here. Cookie Monster, this is actually not a Pokemon. This is Kirby. So if you're going to make fake threats, at least know the game character correctly. But nah, it's all good. So thank you all for being here so much. I appreciate it. I really do. And yeah, we're gonna end it here. Cool. So with that being said, as always, take care.